I'm going to start with you, Minister. When you hear this framing, can India become the third largest economy? Do you feel we're asking the wrong question? Should it really be, when will India get there? And if so, how will we get there? What are the two things that will help us, and what are the two things that could halt us?
India will become the third largest economy in the coming few years itself. It's not a question of will it become. That's a certainty that will happen. It's a question of within next few years, we will definitely become the third largest economy. What's working very well is the last decade of very transformational change which has happened in our country. And it's a very well thought through, well defined and very focused execution. It's built on 4 pillars: the pillar of public investment in physical, digital and social infra, the pillar of making sure that the entire society grows along with the growth of the country, so very inclusive growth. Third, the pillar of manufacturing and innovation. Fourth, the pillar of simplification. All this combined with the base of technology that we have put, we can very clearly say that India is going to grow with 6 to 8% real growth and a moderate 2 to 4% inflation and a nominal growth of 10 to 13% with 95% confidence interval in the next 5 years. So that's the kind of growth journey which is there, we can say with a lot of confidence. And what's working very well is that the entire society is seeing the benefit of it. When we look at 540 million new bank accounts opened, when we see 130 million toilets getting constructed, when we see 800 million people getting ration every month, month after month, that shows that the security of the poorest comes as a priority for our government, for Prime Minister Modi ji. And that has helped us bring 250 million people out of poverty. So these two factors, a very well thought through growth path, very inclusive growth, are going to be very good for our country. What's really a matter of concern on our minds is the global debt which is there in the rich world, the mountains of debt in the rich world, how that debt will unravel. What will be the impact? We saw yesterday in Japan, there was a run on the bonds. So that kind of thing, if it happens on a very large scale, what will be the impact on our country is a matter of concern. Otherwise, everything else is in a very good shape that we will become the third largest economy in the coming years.
Okay. Minister, would you like to come into any of the comments that Geeta has made? Anything you'd like to add?
We follow a model of cooperative federalism where the central government and the state governments, we work together to bring out many of the reforms. And some of the reforms which are happening in Maharashtra, in Andhra Pradesh, in Odisha, many of these reforms are now becoming the template for other states to follow. And the labor reforms implementation is a major step. GST simplification, labor reforms, opening the nuclear energy sector to private sector, and reforms in practically every sector. We have 2 groups of ministers which are working on half the ministries in one group, half the ministries in other group, where we are going down to the procedural reforms, to legal reforms, to every possible reform that we can have. And I'll request all the participants present here, in case you feel there is any particular point which is hampering your growth in India, do come out. We are here to listen to your problems and solve them. We are here to be the catalyst for your growth in India. Yeah?
Excellent. So, Minister, you said in the first question I asked you that one of the pillars is simplification, which is basically deregulation. And many times, whoever you speak to, that is one of the concern areas. So can you talk a little bit more about what are you doing to make ease of business happen in India?
Absolutely. In the last 10 years, 1,600 laws, old, antiquated statutes have been removed from the statute book. Can you give a similar example anywhere in the world? 1,600 laws have been removed. 35,000 compliances have been removed. Big exercise is right now going to reshape the legal structure tuned to modern times, because many of the laws were written in a time when the government and the political setup of that period, I'm saying of the early, from 1950 to 1990, that was a period when the governments were basically very inward looking. They were very protectionist. They were not looking at the energy of our people. They were trying to control that energy. So many of those laws are being rewritten now. So that's a major exercise which is going on. Second, many of the procedural things are getting changed. Mr. Mittal is witness to get a telecom tower permit. It used to take 270 days. Now it takes 7 days. To get a railway terminal connected to the railway network, it used to take 6 years. Now it takes just about 2.5 months. So that is the kind of simplification, procedural as well as legal, is happening in the country. Our entire criminal justice system, which was of 1800 some vintage, so that has now totally been transformed into a new structure. The Telecom Act was of 1854 vintage. That has been replaced by a brand new 2023 Act. So practically every sector, we are trying to bring in a totally new legal framework, a totally new procedural framework built on the technology stack that we have.
Okay. India currently has one of the highest tariffs imposed by the US to any country, almost 50%. How is India insulating its growth story from this?
We are a very resilient economy. The fundamentals, macro as well as micro, are very strong. And that's really helped us through this turbulent period. Our exports have actually increased despite the tariffs. Our producers are finding new markets. We are growing our export sector in multiple ways. For example, electronics exports has now become the third largest exported commodity out of India, after, of course, engineered goods and petroleum products. Which was like unbelievable even 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, this was unbelievable. We are trying to expand the market, going to new geographies, and also simultaneously we are engaging with many markets, many geographies for good, balanced, healthy, mutually complementary trade agreements. We have had with UK, we have had with Switzerland and 2 more countries. We have had with UAE, with Qatar, with Australia, with New Zealand. Another one is right now in works with Europe. So lots of engagement globally, and a fundamental change which has happened in the last 10 years is India has emerged as a very trusted value chain partner, not just supply chain partner. A supply chain partner would be manufacturing to your designs, manufacturing to your specs. A value chain partner will be partner to you in the journey of design, in the journey of understanding what the customers need. In the same room 3 years ago, when we discussed semiconductors, people thought that India will never be able to manufacture semiconductors. And when I say the value chain partner, today, the entire semiconductor industry believes that India is the most important trusted value chain partner, right? So that feeling, that positioning of the country is very important for us in resilience, in managing the turbulence that we see.
Okay. Right now, the AI race seems to be between the US and China. Do you read that correctly, or does India have a place in this race?
India is making very significant progress in all the 5 layers of AI stack. We have already become one of the largest AI-based services provider to the world. Entire IT industry has pivoted from software services to AI-based solutions. The second layer, the model layer, our stack of sovereign models is progressing very well. We must understand today that 95% of the work can be done with a small 50 billion parameter model. You don't require a trillion parameter model to do the things that you need in your day-to-day life and in your enterprises. Our focus on semiconductor industry, the third layer, is very strong. We are investing $70 billion in the 4th layer, the infrastructure layer, and energy, which is the 5th layer. We have opened the entire energy sector, the nuclear energy sector, to private sector, so that we can have a sustainable, clean energy for the AI world.
Thank you very much, all of you.